Eric, Keith, and Charles pop in the forums this week to talk about what's coming next for Star Wars The Old Republic. That exciting news and more coming up on this episode of the Escape Podcast. Our broadcast aspect today is EPC 325. And playing alongside me is Seema. Hi, Seema. How's it going?
Hey, it's going great. We had a beautiful sunny day today, and it was great. It was great timing because I had to do a lot of driving today for a ridiculous errand that happened because of things. But it was, cool and blue sky, sunny. It was really beautiful. And Maine is beautiful, so it was good. It was a great day for a drive. So I'm in a good mood. But as far as SWTOR goes, I've been sort of working on leveling some characters that have been languishing in the background since early days. Like I have an assassin that I haven't played in several years, so I kind of got her out, dusted her off, and I've been running some stuff with her. And when I say running things, I mean like she's level 60, I think. I mean just running around in the world. And then I decided to do the same with my also equally dusty shadow. Or what did I say? I started with my shadow, and then I started also with my assassin. My assassin is actually only level like 30. And then I'm also leveling another operative. Just because they're there, so I'm leveling them up. But it reminds me that I was doing heroic planetary quests on my assassin who's level 30, and she got like half the conquest points that my other characters get. I thought that was weird.
Yeah, we were having weird issues with people, or weird differences with people getting conquest points on MFN on Tuesday night as well, weren't we? And I think it seemed to have to do with what their level was and the amount of experience that they were getting for the things that they were doing, and people at
Yeah,
different
but that
levels were
was that
getting
was kind
different
of the
things.
opposite. Is like when we were rampaging, the people in the group that were still leveling, they were getting more conquest points than the people who had already leveled because of some algorithm that compares XP, and that's how they figure out your conquest points.
Yeah.
But this is the other way around. She's level 30. She's getting half the conquest points that my other characters get for completing missions.
Huh.
Like you complete a mission, you get 650
Oh, right.
conquest points. She
Right.
was getting
Right.
305
I don't know.
conquest points, which I just thought that was weird. But anyway, I'll keep an eye on it. I wonder when it will turn to 650. So anyway, I'm just leveling them up just to sort of finish off and get everyone up to the same level. I mean, I'm not a super completionist, but still things like that, please me.
Yeah.
Then as far as our ops team, we've been messing around in Duxon. It's actually been 2 ops nights since the last time we had a podcast, and both nights we went in.
Hold on just a sec. You just faded out there. Are you back? No, you are still gone. So you were saying, yeah, we've been gone for 2 weeks now, and we did 2 ops nights. Are you there? No, we cannot hear you. Can't hear you. So while Seema comes back, might have to disconnect and reconnect there. A little bit of weirdness with all of our audio. I'll explain my audio and what's been going on and why all of this is weird. I'm continuing to tweak my audio setup. I've got a preamp now going into a mixer, bunch of equipment that I've never had before. The one piece that's still not great is my mixer then going back into Discord and Discord going into the mixer, because that I'm running through the onboard audio for my new motherboard, which is crap. I don't know why. I've never had onboard audio that has not just been full of noise and other crap. So it's been frustrating. So now I think I'm going to get a third new component and fill my desk with boxes and electronics to have another USB interface that's going to hopefully round out the the good sound into Discord and out of Discord. Even though it sounds great for the podcast and on YouTube and on the recording, but it sounds kind of really bad for the people that listen to me talking in Discord right now for whatever reason.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes, I sure can.
Wow, I just restarted Discord.
All right. So the last thing you left off on, which led me to talk about audio issues when you had audio issues, was the fun that we're having in Duxon. So I'll let you finish up there, and then I'll talk about what I've been
Yeah,
up to.
so we last week we got as far as doing downing the third boss, which is the mutant Trandoshans, and then this week we one shot them, which is a big improvement for us because before we weren't doing that. But we got our strat down, so it's very, very repeatable for us now. And then we went and started playing with the next boss, who's the Hunt Master. So that's what we're working on. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
So leveling and ops, and all my normal stuff like MFN, which we're going to talk about in the guild section, community and guild. So, what have you been up to, Max?
I have been up to lots of fun things as well. Uh, most of those fun things, I do like Duxon. We ran into a couple bugs in Duxon; those were not as fun. Uh, so we got to. Hopefully, they're going to fix them in 6.1. I didn't even look if they mentioned that they were going to be fixing Duxon bugs, but the two that were really nailing us tonight, that was as you're walking up, you sort of run that gauntlet. You get out by the water when you're doing the part where you're leading up to the lightning bolts outside and the big pond and you gotta hide behind the rocks for when the
Yeah,
lightning's coming down. And there's one rock where if you hide behind it wrong and one of those fell hunters knocks you back, it resets. It like everything evades, everything resets, and the whole group gets teleported out back to the very beginning. And you got to run that whole thing again. It happened to us 3 times in a row. And
yeah, that was
we
crazy.
were like trying to stand further from the rock. So now we just bypassed that altogether. We wanted to like stop there, kill the group of ads that we had, but every time we stopped there, it was killing us. So that was quite frustrating. And then the other thing that was killing us, and I didn't remember it because we haven't been working on the Hunt Master recently, is for the Hunt Master, when you get hit by the grenades, it puts a pool of fire on the ground. There's a bug where your group, no one in the group, those pools of fire may be invisible. There's a workaround to that one that I didn't remember until we wiped like 3 times because people were getting burned by fire and going, oh wait, why did I get killed by fire? I didn't even see any. If that happens to you, your whole group can leave the instance. Everyone needs to get out, and then you go right back in, and then you can fight the Hunt Master, and you'll see the pools of fire on the ground.
Yeah, we did that, and
And it
yeah, and then
worked,
we could see it. Yeah, exactly.
which
It
is
did work.
which is fine. So, besides that, I love Duxon. I love that operation. I hope we get to do it more. It's really cool. And not hope we get to do more. Do it more. I hope we get to spend lots and lots of time in there because that's the kind of operation I really like in Star Wars. The other thing I've been doing, oh, stat talk. Here it comes, everybody.
Oh,
Little bit of
yes.
stat talk. I've been playing with my stats. I've been playing with my gear. It's still not min max. It's still not optimized. In fact, if you look, I don't even have augments in my right half, but I do have augments in my weapons in my second half now. What I do have on my right half is either purple or gold level periodic intensity on all of my pieces, which is what I'm supposed to have. So that's all good. I optimized a little bit, not as much as it could be, but alacrity is pretty close to what it should be as a target. Accuracy is pretty close to what it should be as a target. They're both a little bit over what they should be for optimal. Uh, Crit could probably go up a little bit more, but and maybe power could go a little bit higher than where I've got it. Everything's sort of skewed to mastery right now, but it's getting close. It's getting a lot better. And I think if I augment these 7 on the right side, I'm gonna be in good shape. I'm still running
I've actually
innovative ordnance, and it's feeling good.
I've actually worked a little bit on mine too. I've gotten um, purple or gold or blue med tech on most of my pieces. And yeah, I've
Yeah.
been looking at my stats too. I mean, I'm just going for 1.4 GCD, so I don't have, very high alacrity number to hit. And I put everything else in crit, even though, after a certain point there's quite a diminishing returns on crit, but
The diminishing term
that's
returns on crit are quite high. Uh, you can stack a lot of crit in 6.0
okay.
currently.
Well,
So
I am because
it
everything
should be
that's
fine.
not in alacrity I'm putting in crit.
Yeah. So Alacrity's got those thresholds where your global cooldown is either 1.4 seconds or 1.3 seconds.
Yeah.
Um,
I just decided to stick with 1.4 because that's
yeah,
what my muscle memory is used to, and
yeah.
that's
So
what I
then
would probably do anyway.
so if you do that, you probably won't even come close. I think it's like 3,500 is the diminishing return point from crit where you would should just bother you should just go to power and mastery. And I'm not even anywhere near that. I'm at 2,400, 25.
I thought it was way lower than that. But
I think I saw a spreadsheet in that min maxed in the Theory Crafter Discord that showed it at 3,500. Maybe that's more specific to mercenary innovative ordnance. It could be. So it might be different for your class as well. So that's a good
but
point.
anyway, I did do some looking at it, and I did re-roll a few amplifiers, and um, yeah, I didn't want to spend tons of credits doing it, but
I
but
ended up spending about 3 million. Now that I look at how much I wasted
and
today.
I mean I
And
I only have the tolerance of staring at my gear for so long. So like my cargo hold is full of mods, enhancements,
yeah,
and also gear that has enhancements in it
and I
that I
probably
haven't
messed
taken out.
around for like an hour and a half. Same reason I was flipping between all these different characters, trying to find where I left the armorings, which I was hoping I had some more periodic intensity for my innovative
Right.
ordnance. Blah 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 blah. A couple people in our Discord have asked about this kind of conversation. We've done 2 to 3 podcasts now, which talked about amplifiers, it talked about theory crafting, where you can find those resources. And there are pin posts in our guild Discord which point to some of those resources, like the summary uh, post and the theory crafter Discord. Feel free to check those out if you want to find that out for yourself as well. Other than that, I've been having fun. Conquest crafting. Did a little bit of GSF for Conquest last week. Doing the Conquest points just fly this week, and that's all been pretty cool. And MFN was pretty cool. Uh, I will miss MFN next week, but I'll be around for our Ops Night and our podcast on Thursday. I will be in
Nice.
Seattle on Tuesday. So that is Max and SEMA news. Let's take a look at the rest of the news.
Now, an Imperial News Network report.
The PTS is still up. I believe it's still up. It was up when I first wrote this note about a
It's
week ago.
at this moment it's not up. I
Okay.
I checked right before the podcast.
Okay, so maybe they brought it down in prep. They had it up there for a little while. Two things that we hope people got a chance to look at on the PTS were the fixes for the Alderaan Stronghold and the class changes that are coming in 6.1. And there's a little bit of a post that went up about a week ago, which talked about some of those class changes to keep an eye on. There's going to be a little bit more balance changes going on in 6.1. There'll be some more balance changes, going on in 6.1x. The updates coming after that. It's something to keep an eye out for.
That pause probably means I'm supposed to talk. Okay.
Yes.
Also, there was some posts this week, and then we're going to talk about this. But Eric kicked it off with a post about uh, what's coming next for the game. And in that post, he mentioned that Keith may stop by from time to time and give his spin on things. And lo and behold, Keith did stop by and made a post. And following that, Charles actually posted too, giving a little bit more meat and potatoes about story stuff coming.
We're going to talk about that in detail in the second half of the show. And heads up for the chat room here. Um, we're gonna ask, and we won't have any spoilers. There was a couple sort of spoiler sections that Charles put up. We won't talk about those till the very end, but there's nothing all that much to spoil. We'll mention what Charles put in the spoiler tags at that point. But then I'm gonna ask the chat room, and I'm gonna ask you, Seema, what do you think is gonna happen next in the story? Get to that too. Also up in
I
the
predict.
news, which I see, are you writing it right there, Seema? The new subscriber
Yes,
reward?
I am.
Wow, that's kind of fancy. It's called the Umbaran Patrol Tauntaun. A post went up as part of this whole announcement and the stuff that's going on. New subscriber reward. If you subscribe anytime between now and the end of February 29th, you will immediately receive the Umbaran Patrol Tauntaun in game, which is kind of cool. Is got a little sweater on. Why is he wearing a quilted sweater?
Yeah, it's a sweater.
That's so he won't freeze before he reaches the first marker.
Yes.
That is what it's for. Guild and community news. A little bit of guild news. We've got another mega event coming up on February 7th. If you're familiar with our guild, Le Jagd Est, we have a fun night every Tuesday night for everybody that happens to be on. And then once a month, Marcus, one of our officers from the Working Class Nerds podcast, and also from our guild, sponsors and designs and sets up a monthly epic guild activity, Mega. And he jointly pulled in another one of our awesome guildies, Lucy, and Lucy and Marcus designed a redo of our very famous event called Where in the Galaxy is Seema San Diego? So Seema's going to be hidden. There's going to be a series of clues and a series of checkpoints, and everybody's going to have to jump in and solve the clues, find the checkpoints, get the next clue, find the puzzle, win some prizes. The grand prize, the main prize, is you get a special member note title assigned to you in our guild roster,
Yep.
that shows that you were the winner. But then we have other sort of fun prizes on the side too, like mounts and pets and stuff. That is on
Also,
February 7th. So
yes,
join
which
us
is coming
in
up. That's
game.
soon.
And if you want to join, if you're on Starforge at all on February 7th, and you want to come join us for this, you don't have to be an AIE to join in and have fun doing this with us. Just come on and let us know, tweet at us, or catch us in game or on our guild Discord, and we'll pull you in. Have fun.
Also, in the last couple of weeks, we've had a couple of MFNs since the last show we had, and um, not this week, but last week we had a rather wild and woolly attack on Terraform Beyond. We had 2 or 3 people in our ops that had never been there before, but nevertheless, when we got to the last boss, the actual Terraform Beyond, we were running really short on time, so we just decided to go in and have a look at him without any explanation.
Yeah.
And we just ran in there, and it was also problematic or exciting because I personally was disconnecting like every 2 minutes, 2 to
Yeah.
3 minutes. And so it was just, at some point I would just like pop in, throw a few heals, disconnect, pop in, throw a few heals, disconnect. And yeah, it was just really but we did down the Terraform Beyond, even with substantial number of people not knowing the fight ever. It was our first time ever seeing it, and yeah, so that was cool. And then this week we did one of our more common combinations on the Gree week, which is we went and did Xeno. We did the world bosses, the Gree world bosses, the ones on Ilum, and then we did rampages on Ilum and Hoth, and we just got a crap ton of conquest points and just had fun hanging out together.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was fun, and that's one of the best fights to go into cold. That Terror from Beyond last fight.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
So
I mean,
for the couple people that had never been in there before, imagine Yeah, there's not many fights like that in many games. There's stuff going on. You're fighting the tentacles outside, and you get sucked into another dimension where physics don't even work properly,
Right.
and you're on
No
these
physics.
platforms, and am I gonna fall off? And so that was really cool. It was fun to hear people say, "Oh my gosh, that was pretty amazing." Uh, so I liked that. So that is uh that is what we've been doing. Um you
You know
know,
what I learned from that though, Max?
what did you learn
It's
from that
like we
fight?
should never explain the TFB fight. And I'm going to extend that to never explain the Styrac fight and never explain the council fight at the end of Dread Palace.
And probably next week when we go back into Duxon, we won't explain the Apex
No.
Predator, the Apex Vanguard, and that's a crazy fight, especially not having that explained. So that's gonna be
Okay.
nuts.
All right.
All right, that is good. But gotta say, we've got something to talk about soon, and game development is a complicated profession.
Bounty hunting is a complicated profession. Would you agree?
I didn't really have anything else queued up, so I just went with that.
Plus, he
Um,
doesn't actually say that.
Not in that order. He says those words, but not in that order.
Yes, but they're not connected.
Shut up, Max.
There, I could have just done that.
Thanks for trusting me.
Shut up, Nadia.
Shut up, Max.
There we go. So we're going to talk about the news that was in our feeds this week. Started with Eric, as Seema said in the news segment. Started with Eric saying you might get some news things. Then there was a tweet from Eric because somebody was like criticizing, saying, "Oh, we're not, we're only going to get one story update for the whole year or something like that." And Eric tweeted back and said, "No, there's definitely going to be more than one story update. In fact, I think I have that here. I didn't see it on Twitter, but I have a picture of the tweet here from Reddit.
Toss a coin to your Musco.
There's definitely more than one story update this year." And then Keith and Charles jumped in to unleash on us a little bit of a not a roadmap per se,
Mm-mm.
but a little bit
Definitely not.
of a preview, a little bit of a what's next, a little bit of here's some news of some things to keep an eye on. So that's what we're going to talk through here for the next couple minutes. We won't go into any spoilers. Charles did put a couple things in spoiler tags. We'll save that till the end, as we mentioned. But uh, let's walk through just to kick it off what Keith talked about, what Keith mentioned. What was your overall impression of this update from Keith, though, Seema? Were you
Well,
pleased
it
with
was
everything
just
you
like a
heard?
little
Or?
morsel. I mean, I was happy with it. It just was what it was. I always like when Keith posts. Keith is pretty down to earth guy, and I think he says what he means and means what he says. Um, but he was basically focusing first in the short term 6-1, 6-1-1, and 6-1-2, but then also saying, and we're looking forward to stuff in 20 after 2020 when we talk about SWTOR's 10th year.
Right. I think the impression, in fact, there was a follow up post that we'll get to too. The impression he was trying to give, which we all should be happy to hear, is that there's this is a long term. There's long term plans here, and there's plans in the work going on right now that's even going to lead into 2021. This is not on, this is not a back burner
Right.
thing. This is not a dying game. None of that kind of thing. You should have some confidence in the roadmap for this game for the future, which we all should be happy to hear. Which of course was reflected with all the positive comments in the forums. No,
Obviously.
it was a shit show. Obviously, I don't think it was that bad, but I did see some out of the corner of my eye. I didn't actually spend very much time at all. In fact, we're already here. Maybe we should do that. What did we see in the forums? Good luck, and hopefully the game only improves. Thank you. So few information as usual. So few information, as usual. I'm sorry, Keith, comma, but this is so vague and not saying anything at all. So yeah. uh,
Yeah.
so and here's a good one. So in other words, we should unsub after tomorrow and wait for an actual roadmap that aren't bug fixes and quality of life improvements? Question mark. Kidding, smiley face. Really?
Whatever.
Okay. But there's plenty of this is yes. Glad we got something. Glad we got a little bit of an update here from Keith. We are getting things in the near term. We're getting in 11 days, we're going to have 6.1, which is going to have a story element. It's going to have a brand new stronghold, which is one of the biggest strongholds in the game. It's going to be pretty nice. They talked about 6.1.1, as you said, Seema. They talked about 6.1.2. Anytime they do the the first decimal increases, there's going to be story elements. So when 6.2 comes, that will be the next story update.
Right.
But 6.1.1 and 6.1.2 will not be story updates, but they will be coming quickly. What did they say? He said, scheduled pretty quick on the heels of 6.1, and you should expect to see these updates in the next couple of months after 6.1 is live, with included quality of life changes for Conquest, more class changes, Master Mode Duxon, and more. I would hope
I
6.
wonder what they mean by that quality of life changes for.
Yeah, I wonder that too, because in the next part, Keith doubles down on that, and he says for 2020, the team's working on a lot of exciting things for this year. We really have a big focus on quality of life. Is your quality of life in a bad place right now, Seema? I don't know.
Well, I cannot search my inventory.
So yes, it is terrible.
But when he says quality of life changes to conquest, to me that sounds like updates to the UI that make it easier to use or whatever. I find it I'm used to how it is now. I don't find it like jarring, it's so bad or what anything like that. But maybe it's going to be easier to find. Maybe you'll be able to sort it by the things you need to group. I don't know. I don't know what that's going to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what conquest quality of life changes would be either, but that's okay.
I'm curious.
But
I'm intrigued.
the 2020 comment just sounded like big focus on quality of life in general.
Yeah,
But
it does.
but okay, that that's not bad. I like quality of life, but I'm pretty happy with quality of life in general in the game right now. I mean, travel is quick. All the places that we would want to go, unless they're really going to go crazy, unless they're going to do like some of the things that were have been on our wish list, like flex sized operations groups and
An
or
inventory search.
inventory search.
I
Yeah,
mean, like seriously, like my main character is a mercenary commando. I have that optimized gear we were talking about, or I'm working on optimizing it. Those two characters share that gear. Then I have a set of gear that's for all my other 75s. It's like so that I don't have to lose my mercenaries gear. So I have two sets of gear. And then I can see that second set of gear slowly morphing into one that's for my sorks and sages and one that's for my operatives and scoundrels um I have one set that's for leveling characters, the XP set. So I do lose my gear from time to time now. I
I
mean, even though I can put them all in legacy storage but sometimes I log out and I still have the gear on the character and then I'm like, okay, I have to remember which and I mean, I don't have as many characters as some people have, but I do have more characters than I can mentally track.
right, right. So we'll see. If it's some of those kind of things, maybe it will be exciting and fun and things that we're really looking for.
Or maybe some updates to the GTN quality of
Yeah,
life.
I if I mean it, if they're gonna end up with quality of life changes that affect us being able to get groups together and do group content and do story content,
That
do
would be awesome.
that kind of quality of life, I think would be a big deal. Us, the smaller tweaks to quality of life, like even inventory search, that would be great, but it would be I mean, I would be happy to have it, but it's not like, s- a new operation. My level of expectations for what I want to see in 2020 certainly exceed
Well,
just getting
it's a
good with
balancing
things
act,
like.
isn't it? Because they have to do all of it. So it's sometimes they have to spend some resources on quality of life, and sometimes they have to spend some resources on creating new ops, and sometimes and it's not all the same resources, but in the end, it's still resources.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have to.
But I expect Matt Pusevich is continuing to be busy, and hopefully I'm sure he's working on Master Mode Duxon right now, because that's certainly something that they mentioned would be coming relatively soon, which will be coming in that 6.1.1, 6.1.2
And he didn't
timeframe.
say. He said, updated stories, PvP improvements. And he didn't say much more. He said much, much more.
Ah, well, there we go.
So that clearly means, a new operation and
Those words are tasting good in my mouth, if you know what I mean. Inside joke. Much, much more. Okay. So fine. And he finished that off by saying, "We want to ensure your time in SWTOR is enjoyable, having plenty of activities, goals, and rewards." Great. I want that too.
I mean, he did mention Star Wars Celebration too, because like
So yeah, then
buy
he got into
tickets for
his
Star
next
Wars
two things.
Celebration.
Star Wars Celebration. We're also looking forward to Star Wars Celebration. When is Star Wars Celebration? Again, because I'm
I think
going.
it's over
I
in
didn't miss it,
August.
did I? August. So they're looking forward to Star Wars Celebration, which means they have stuff planned out for that. Planning to have a cantina there. Love to see you all in person. I will be there. I gotta look at the hotel rooms though. I think I don't have a hotel yet. Cool announcements, swag, and many more SWTOR developers available. Many SWTOR developers available for you to meet. Okay, I will be there. And then what did he say? What was his last bullet? I was actually sort of surprised to see this as the last bullet, that they're really sort of pushing this idea of 2021. He they've talked about SWTOR's 10th year. They've talked about 2021. They even talked about it in December. So they're really looking far out as far as that goes. I hope
I
they're
think that's I think that's the message they want to give is that each like when we were playing through the 5.0 or the 5 series patches, people were like, what's there's never going to be anything after this. They don't have enough dead, blah 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 blah. And so they started telling us, no, there's going to be 6.0. I think this is part of that. It's like, no, we're here, and we're going to be here.
so something major. It seems like a great target to work towards doing something major. More to come, of course, but I wanted so something major. That that sounds now that's getting my expectations in a bunch.
That sounds like, well, it could be another backpack. Would be, I'm sure they would do that measure.
That doesn't sound major enough to me. I mean, with what he just laid out, you
Maybe he
know,
means a tie-in of some sort.
I'm thinking. I mean, what do you think about like Star Wars: The Old Republic 2.0 kind of major, like game engine update and an expansion, but on top of like a game engine overhaul and new graphics updates, like bring it put it on a modern graphics engine. No, I mean that's too major probably. But that's what my mind started going towards
I
when he
mean,
said something major.
that would be me. Yeah,
That would be major. Uh,
it's not impossible.
it's not impossible. Just kind of impossible. Zen says I'm getting my expectations way too high. So picture like the ESO game engine and our Star Wars characters in that engine, or Amazon's Lumberyard
Yeah,
engine. That's a modern engine, and it's very performant. Picture Star Wars in that, that closer to realistic rendering of characters and people in that lumberyard kind of game engine. Yes, that's what they're doing. I'm so
Totally.
pleased that that's what's going to be. All right.
Start expecting it now, everyone.
Then Keith, what was this? I only scanned this. I didn't even look at it in detail. So somebody then replied back. What did they say? I agree this is vague, but he obviously revealed all he can. I still find the game fun and look forward to new story parts. Eric said that it would start with 6.1. Maybe it got pushed back. I'm happy to continue leveling my characters while I wait. Plenty of it to do. Blah 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 blah. Keith then replied, "Thanks, Luke." The guy's name was Luke is Jedi. That was the forum name for this
The
person.
poster, yeah.
Thanks, Luke. I just like that. Thanks, Luke. And Keith says, my intention was to say hi, to let you know SWTOR will be around for years to come. All right, so that's what he's putting out there with that 2021 talk. They've had a lot of fun in the past quarter with Onslaught. They know it's time to move forward with 6.1. So here's his new post. 5 bullets. First bullet, hi. Well done. Second bullet, SWTOR will be around for years to come because we're planning to release something big for our 10th anniversary, which is 2020.
Like it could be like a really big Rancor.
Your expectations are way too low. Bullet number 3. Onslaught continues to be a lot of fun, but we need to start providing updates. So on February 11, we'll release 6.1, but that's only one of many in 2020. Good. Bullet number 4. We will get you more details about upcoming releases. Thank you. Bullet number 5. Hope to see you at Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim, California. Peace out, mofos.
Yeah.
That's what he wrote. You guys see it typed right here.
He didn't actually say mofos. That was just Max's embellishment there.
Yeah, okay. So nice little update there. Then we got the mount post. Then Charles chimed in. So what'd you think of that? What'd you think of Charles chiming in and saying hi and putting his little twist in the timeline of reality?
So I was actually, I'm not exactly sure what to say. So because we wanted to do this sort of non-spoilery,
Okay.
but I don't know where the line is really. But I was happy about one comment that he made in particular because it kind of allayed a certain notion. But
Okay, so now we're gonna spoil it as much as Charles spoils it in his post, including the hidden spoiler notes, which aren't really that spoilery. But if you really,
yeah, they're not.
If you,
It's sort of like
if you don't want to
watching
know,
a trailer for a movie.
Right.
If you shy away from trailers, then don't read this post or listen to what we're gonna say right.
Yeah, then skip ahead to next week. The next 10 minutes, wrap up our show here. Will be focused on this post from Charles and a little bit of spoilery notes. So you have been warned.
Okay, so what I was going to say is that I appreciate that he did say that they're not just working up to making Valkorian Vitiate Tenebrae be the big bad again. So, I mean, because the Scourge and Kira storyline is about his final, sort of attack on us, the virus or the plague or whatever it is. But it's just an introduction to, or it's a tie-in or a finishing up or continuing piece into the Onslaught story, connecting it back to Kotet.
That was
Not
probably
that he's, Valkorian isn't going to be our person that we fight again.
right, which is probably good. That I mean, he probably had to put that out there. We haven't done our spoiler show for Rise of Skywalker yet, but that bullet right there seems to me to be a response to Rise of Skywalker. I won't say any more on that now, but we'll talk about that at some point. Yeah, good. All right. Get it out of the way. No, Valkorian's not coming back. He's not going to be the main villain of the game again. I don't know why not. Just keep him around forever. It's Kefis. Kefis is coming back. But but it was good to have Charles check in general. Uh, two of the things he said in this small story beat that's coming in 6.1 were, oh, chat room, I just saw something really cool in there. We'll get back to that in a second when we ask you what your ideas are for what's coming next. Wow, that's a good idea. Anyway, 6.1 is supposed to include this small story beat that's the size of Hearts and Minds, which is like 10 minutes worth of content, is what was my impression of Hearts and Minds. So it sounds a little small to me. I want the story to move forward, though. He said specifically this will be about checking in with the newly formed factional groups, Task Force Nova for Republic players and the Hand for Imperials. Am I missing that? Did we? Where did those get formed? Did I just gloss over that? Was that part of what was going on Andron and Mekshah?
Well, the way I read that is that's what we're going to learn about in this story beat.
I kind of thought that was part. No, I think by the end, and what we talk, I think, the hand part did come up at the end of the Onslaught story content. So I think that both of those might have been referred to and mentioned at the end of the story content for Onslaught, and now it's going to be sort of the next steps on that. So making some initial decisions to guide them as they're getting ramped up. Okay, so Task Force Nova and the Hand for on the Imperial side, Hand of the Emperor. For Imperials, this also means meeting your new liaison, Darth Rivix. He was a lot of fun to write, so I'm looking forward to seeing everyone's reactions. Well, that's cool. I like new characters, and I think Charles comes up with some interesting characters. I liked a couple of the characters that we got in Onslaught, but I don't think they're necessarily going to continue on.
I think all in all, he posted some very specific stuff, but then he posted a lot of the stuff that he often posts, which is that it's fun. We should look forward to it. He liked doing it.
Yeah.
We'll see some some old faces and some new faces.
Right. Which is just fine, but that doesn't tell us much. The idea of here's a character's name, the name is Darth Rivix, and Task Force Nova versus the Hand, and moving those sort of factional groups forward. Okay, that
But it was
sets the
pretty
stage.
specific when he
That's
said
good.
troopers will have a one-on-one with Ilara Dorn, and
Yeah.
agents will have a one-on-one with Vector, which I'm kind of intrigued about that because my operative Vector is her husband.
Yeah, and my trooper is in a relationship with the Lara Dorn, and she has the Rakghoul customization. She's my zombie girlfriend.
Might have to take that off.
Oh, no, no, she's my zombie girlfriend. It's like Pride and Prejudice and zombies.
Right. Okay.
Am I too proud? Or am I too prejudiced and she's too proud? I don't know which it is.
It's
Just
both.
my trooper, Mr. Darcy. Check in with Kieran Scourge. I like that. I like the idea there, but it sounds like we're not going to get what's coming next with Kieran Scourge yet. And then spoiler number 1 was characters on each side will get small hints at what's going on with Darth Malgus from 2 different perspectives. Yes. Yes and yes. Those are more words that sound good in my mouth.
Right.
Darth Malgus. More Darth Malgus for me, please. That's the story. In fact, if 6.2, 3, and 4 were all just about Darth Malgus unleashed, I would be happy. That would be really cool. And then what else did he say? Keith mentioned 6.1 will be followed by 6.1.1 and 6.1.2. After that, our next story will be in 6.2. Yes, where crazy stuff happens. Definitely the final confirmed update name. So the sub. Oh, I see. His subtitle is Game Update 6.2 : the one where crazy stuff happens.
Right.
And then the asterisk there is, yeah, that's definitely the name for that chapter. Good. Like it. Roll with it. That's how we name our podcast episodes. Since it's still in the works and a bit further out, it won't go into nearly as much detail, and I'm going to put about just everything in spoiler tags just in case. But the the TLDR is that 6.2 will deal directly with the situation Kira and Scourge bring to light at the end of Onslaught. So let's break into the spoiler tag, and then we are going to speculate on what we think the crazy stuff is that is going to happen. Because he doesn't tell it doesn't say much, does he? So go
N-
why don't you introduce us to the bullets of what he did say in the spoiler tag, and I'll warm up the chat room and see what our ideas are for what we think crazy.
Well, basically, it says that in 6.2 we're going to be learning. Well, it's going. He says it's going to deal with Satil Shan, but I read that to say that we're going to find out where she's been and what she's been up to. This is also where he says that no Valkorian isn't becoming the main villain of the game again. And like I was saying earlier, some common comments about how we're going to see some familiar faces, and also that he sees it more as a bridge from um, Kotep.
More of an epilogue to Knights of the Eternal Throne. Huh.
Yeah, an epilogue to Knights of the Eternal Throne, but yeah. So yeah, I don't know that we need an epilogue. So I guess I am kind of intrigued by that because
Well, I could kind of see that in that Satil Shan kind of had a part of Fallen Empire and Eternal Throne. She was sort of like hovering in the background in a couple places, and she led you through one of the chapters, and that never really resolved. Um, what's his name? Uh, her,
Mar.
Darth Mar. He ended up being a Force ghost, and then became a Force ghost buddy for Satil Shan, which I thought was kind of cool. Uh, so he's kind of out of the picture, but she just sort of lingers. So maybe that's that part that's sort of getting wrapped up.
Yeah, I guess I could see that. I guess I'm sort of okay with Force Ghosts just always popping in and then
Yeah, yeah.
never
I
like
mean,
resolving anything.
Force ghosts can certainly linger on forever, but Satil Shan's not a Force ghost. She just sort of
No,
floating around
no.
and doesn't really have a specific
As far as we
role
know,
or
she's not.
goal or place. But the whole idea with Scourge and Kira was that she's infected or whatever. Well, okay, which was part of the the failsafe, the dead man switch that Tenebrae Valkorian unleashed on his final death, and Satil was caught up in that. So that's where we left it with Scourge and Kira. Okay, and then he just says, beyond that, in addition to content features and quality of life improvements, we're looking past the story for 6.2, more storyline with Onslaught, continue for the rest of the year and beyond. Blah, blah, blah. 9th year, 10th year, very exciting time for SWTOR to be sure. All right, so let's get into it. The chat room, Elian in the chat room had a really cool idea that I wanted to touch on. Did you see it go by, Seema?
Mm-hmm.
What if
Yeah.
this whole this whole thing with the failsafe trap that Tenebrae unleashed takes Satil Shan and turns her to the dark side?
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I think it's a creative thought.
I kind of like it. What if she sort of becomes the villain that we have to fight against?
So then, or maybe we have to deem her.
Yeah, or save her or whatever, or yeah. But she becomes the big bad. She gets infused with all of the dark side hatred of Valkorian, and and starts to a rage filled rampage across the galaxy. Yeah, dark Satil Shan. I kind of like the sound of that. That intrigues me. Uh, yeah. What else? What else?
But that wouldn't be particularly crazy.
Satil Shan going dark side and like wreaking
What?
havoc on the galaxy?
I mean, no, because like it's a lot of Jedis have gone to the dark side. It doesn't qualify of for the subtitle of this is where it's this crazy stuff happens to me.
Oh, okay. What's okay? Then you tell me. What do you what,
um,
what's crazy
I
in
don't
your
know.
book then?
Like, Darth Malgus starts having tentacles growing out of his head or something.
Okay, that's crazy.
Because Darth Melora gives him something in his tea.
Well, I mean, there's crazy and there's crazy.
Yeah, okay. I guess that is a problem with using the word crazy.
Yeah, I guess so. So yeah, you know, Darth Darth Malgus turns into a kangaroo and hops all around, all around Tatooine.
Wow,
You
that
gotta
would be
you
crazy.
gotta chase him, but you can only hop, and he leaves eggs for all the children on Tatooine. Okay, that would be crazy, but I don't know. Satele Shan going dark side. I feel that that's crazy also, but more like Star Wars crazy. Uh, I don't know. How about there's a a tiny little a a young version of Yoda that shows up, and
Okay, that
you
would be
gotta like
crazy. I
carry
don't.
it around and bring it with you. I don't know. I did. I don't think I showed that on this episode yet. I made this. I think I'm gonna post this on the web. I made this for our guild. Uh, yeah. Let me show it in full screen so you can get a view in here.
The thing with the car and the rock.
Yeah. Not a rock. You keep saying rock. This is some of my favorite armor. I love all the cybernetic armor sets. So this is the Series 808 cybernetic armor set, but it looks like Bumblebee, doesn't it?
Yeah,
So this is the
yeah, it
Bumblebee
does.
car from the Bumblebee movie. So I photoshopped it into here with my car, and I said, my mount for this Series 808 should be me folding up into a car and driving away." And then my little Easter egg, little bonus there was to throw in a little baby Yoda, which I'm now going to be throwing all over the place in every screenshot that I
The
make.
most adorable Easter egg.
So there's that. Uh, yeah, that would be crazy. Let's get some baby Yodas. A whole. But what if there's like just an invasion of baby Yodas across the galaxy? So I don't know. So chat room, I don't know if you all saw anything else that was going on in the forums. I didn't comb the forums to see what Charles was alluding to, that some of these crazy things that people were coming up with, and maybe some people have guessed some of those crazy details. This one in particular, I really like. Is the idea of Satele Shan going dark side and us having to chase her down, fight her, battle her to save her.
And when we fight her, she's like really big.
And has tentacles.
And she has tentacles coming out of her. No, I mean,
The
Satele
Satele
she's a
Shan from
boss.
beyond.
If we fight her, then she's a boss, so she can be really.
That's one thing I think that they do pretty well in Star Wars. When we fought Revan, Revan wasn't like giant.
Right.
The one
He
thing
was
that
normal
happened,
size.
I don't know why they do this. When you fight, like when you fight people in World of Warcraft, they're always like a really big version of them.
Right? Like,
They're
I
like
mean, do they do that in other games? But yeah, it's just like they're not human size anymore.
it's
They're
suddenly
like
like
the
a 20
size
foot
of the
tall
Empire
version of
State.
Arthas. Arthas wasn't 20 feet tall. He didn't like grow when he became the Lich King. He was like still like Arthas size.
Yeah,
He just put
you're
the
right.
helmet
He
on.
was. He was.
So why when we fight him is he like does he have to be like giant? I don't know. And even when you're like standing next to Thrall, Thrall suddenly is like really big in there. I'm like, what's up, bro? Been lifting?
He
Uh,
has been lifted for
in
sure.
in Star Wars, when we fought Revan, he was Revan size. So if maybe something crazy is going to happen, that's going to make Satele Shan really big. I don't know. Maybe she's going to get tentacles. At least the idea of Satele Shan Darkseid is crazy enough for me. All right. So I think that's good. If you all out there have your own ideas, I haven't seen any of these other ideas. Send them to me. Tweet them to me. Get in our guild, our Escape Podcast or our SWTOR channel in our guild Discord. I would love to hear more of these fun ideas. Maybe we'll do a revisit of this as the 6.2 gets closer, so that we can track down all of our, and maybe we'll run a little side mini contest. Whoever's idea gets closest wins a Rhodian mayo sandwich. So send me your ideas. I would love to hear what your
Oh,
ideas of
great. Now I'm
crazy
hungry.
are as well. Rhodian mayo sandwich. Is it made by Rhodians or made of
No,
Rhodians? That's the
it's the
question.
type of mayonnaise that they make. It's not made of Rhodians.
All
How
right.
many times do I have to tell you?
I don't think that's the case. So with that, I think we'll wrap it up for today with that fun speculation of what might be coming next. Our EPC 325 droid here is ready to get kicked out an airlock to broadcast this episode to all of you out there. Please keep up with us on Twitter at MaxTheGray and at AIESEMA. And if you know any cool people that should be playing the game with us, tell them to come check us out. They can find our podcast on YouTube and twitch.tv/New Overlords. They can find our guild on Starforge and our guild information at aie-guild.org. On there, you can get to our guild Discord as well. There's a link right at the top under guild resources. You can jump in-game or in Discord and ask us for a guild invite. That's what we want. We want you to come in there. We want you to join us. Our mandatory fun nights, our event on September or February 7th. The one in September as well. I didn't know why I said that. Come join AIE. And we will talk to you soon.
Later, everyone.
Now an
Not that. Later, everyone.